On the 10th of September 2025, right-wing and MAGA activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while addressing spectators at the University of Utah Valley in the United States of America. This had caused much discourse and debate online whether he deserved or did not deserve to die. The Rhodes University student and staff body was not excluded from this, as the residents of Makhanda pitched in on this debate by giving their views on Charlie Kirk and the discourse surrounding him and whether he deserved to die or not. Journalist and lecturer at Rhodes University, Mr. Stephen Lang, helped share some of his insights on the situation regarding the celebration of Kirk's death, as well as what Kirk may have stood for.
So Charlie Kirk had very bigoted views. He was far right-wing, he was anti-gay rights, he was possibly quite racist and supported a lot of the very far right-wing viewpoints. But he certainly didn't deserve to die. But he stressed the importance of debate. So he would go to different campuses and different universities around the country and say, come and talk to me about this. Let's do it in a discussion basis. And he was kind of a bully in terms of debating, but it was debating, not physical violence. And that's where I think he drew the line, and where I think it was a good place to draw the line as well. I think it's horrific if people celebrate the assassination of an individual. I personally am totally against his viewpoints, his political standpoints, but this is definitely not a situation where someone should be shot in the neck for. And the fact that people online celebrated his death, I think, is appalling. I'm very much against that. I think that we should never celebrate anyone's murder.
Mr. Kenya Wynne, a second-year student at Rhodes University and the chairperson of the LGBTQIA+ Representative Society in Kolifasi, helped to share his views on Kirk and his death, from the perspective of a queer person who was marginalized by Kirk's influence.
His name was bombarded everywhere, so it was kind of very difficult for me to ignore. And I found out that he was a right-wing politician who had very negative views towards the trans community, the LGBTQIA+ community, and he held very different views from what I would consider good views about things such as gun violence, for argument's sake. So as a person, I just got the view that he wasn't very much, at least in my standards, a good person. As much as his views were very problematic and his views were very toxic towards my community, I mean, even myself as a trans person, his views didn't hold who I am and who my community is in a very good light. But it was very mixed. Like, I understood where both parts were coming from. I understand the feeling of good riddance, especially from, people from America who are posting about it, who, like, trans people in America who, because a person does have so much power to influence, and as much as he didn't do anything, he could have. But it's also that thing of he was a human, he was a person, and he didn't deserve to die the way he did. It's creating a debate that, honestly, the debate is, okay, but was his death justified or not? That's not what the world should be focusing on right now. It should be focusing on leaders like you say, Chris Hani, Steve Biko, and that's just the sad reality of the world we live in.
Charlie Kirk had used his platform and voice to spread negativity to many groups surrounding issues of race, gender, sexuality, and religion as a means of promoting his own agendas. However, Steve Biko, who was a native to the Eastern Cape and visited Makhanda, had used his voice to emancipate people. I spoke with financial economics master's student Utibe Akpan, and he had some interesting insights into Charlie Kirk and Steve Biko.
I think a lot of people were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, which I thought was weird because we're all gonna die. And the thing that I think is that I pray people don't celebrate your death, you know what I'm saying? So I just kept quiet on the situation because I would never wish death on anyone. Yeah. So Steve Biko he was a freedom activist, the founder of Black Consciousness, And I feel like his sentiments mirrored somewhat of Malcolm X and I think it was Black Power, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. But I just think like it's interesting that they both had the same idea that black people need to emancipate their minds and get out of the inferiority complex which has been imposed upon us by years of apartheid or segregation, you know, in both of these two instances. Because I mean, why would people spend so much time trying to put you down if you weren't great in the first place? You know what I mean? So as a black man myself, I let go of that mentality in high school, and I realized that, you know, the power to move through a society that dislikes you is in your mind. You know, if you can take all of that hate and turn it into love, you can really thrive in any environment because nothing will touch you. So I think that I think we need to be more objective in our analysis of each other and ourselves, and really ask hard questions like, am I part of the problem or am I part of the solution? You know, so a lot of people are part of the problem, but they think they are the solution, because I think the Bible says man is wise in his own eyes, and I don't think that we should be wise in our own eyes. I think we should be objective, especially when it comes to things involving people's lives.
We believe that in our country there shall be no minority, there shall be no majority, there shall just be people. And those people will have the same status before the law, and they will have the same political rights before the law.
47 years after his death, people still benefit from the fire Steve Biko had lit. Unlike Charlie Kirk, Steve Biko had lent his voice in a way in which uplifted and empowered black people in South Africa, as well as enabling change to occur and end apartheid. Although the Rhodes University staff and body do not celebrate in the death of Charlie Kirk, they surely don't celebrate in his sentiments either, but rather they agree with thinkers like Chris Hani and Steve Biko, who used their massive platforms to bring immediate changes to the environment around them. My name is Carl De Silva with Rhodes University TV, signing out.